Everybody, it's Mike and Dave here, and we missed one or two sessions last week because life happens. But we're always excited to just connect 6,000 miles apart, but using technology to just dialogue, talk things. And we're just firm believers that in talking, we actually begin to free our thoughts, and thinking partners just helps us. I remember, Dave, you might like this because you introduced me to Seth Godin many, many years ago.
I did, yes. The purple cow, man.
Yeah, and he has become a favorite of mine. But Seth Godin says, even if your blog is just for you, you're the only one who reads your blog, it serves a purpose because it gets your ideas out. And I don't quite know what you think about that.
Yeah, I think isn't he the guy that also said, you just have to ship it, just keep shipping it. Is he the? Yeah. I think he is, isn't he? And I love that because that's something I also taken from him is sometimes we wait till it's absolutely perfect before we ship something that we've missed the opportunity. And I'm a big believer in record it, send it out, and it will, if it does no purpose, another to just keep the creativity going, and keep us talking and writing stuff. I love Seth Godin. I think he's a great guy. Yeah.
And perfection has its place in some things. I suppose you want your heart specialist to be close to perfect. When it comes to creation and arts and just ideas, we often need to just put it out there, having done good thought, but there needs to be a ship to date, which we stick to. Yeah. So last time we spoke, I think it was last week Thursday, we mentioned the word remarkable. So let me just position this for you. A couple of years ago, we're talking 2010, 11, 12, 13 in particular. David,
as long ago as that now, is it?
David and I started playing with the word remarkable, and I fell in love with the word remarkable, and at one stage even thought I'd love to create a clothing range with just the word remarkable on it, and it was a little bit of the game that we were playing, and the game goes as follows. Whenever you are down, or if something is sort of going amiss, your thinking partner or your buddy looks at you and shares these words in a question. What would be a remarkable response? So I remember Dave and I rocking up to do a facilitation session, and the room was terrible. It was everything you don't want when you're facilitating. And I can't remember who popped the question, but it was, okay, what's a remarkable response here? And the question creates a problem, because remarkable by nature says you can't go default. You can't go to just the well-trodden path. What's a remarkable response? So Davey, that question for you, I think it just naturally developed and morphed, and it actually became quite a hallmark of so much of what we did.
It did. I mean, I loved it. I loved the challenge when we first stumbled over the word, being remarkable, being a remarkable person. The actual word is being worthy of remark. And I use the whole word now in a lot of the sales training that I do. I say to guys, you're going to pitch to a CEO, and he might be pitched to 5 or 6 times in that day. But I want to be the one person that he's going to remark to his wife about at the end of the day. I want to be the one person that cuts through all the noise and that he remembers. And sometimes we have to just do some crazy things to be that person that's remembered. From the way that you greeted him. I greeted him at the door, and the questions I asked him. I know that in particular, one person I'd pitched to, he'd spoken to me a while later. He said one of the things he loved about, or was remarkable about meeting our company, was the interest we took in his family life. We asked about his kids and his where he lived from, and he said, not many people ask you questions unrelated to the business that you're in. For him, that was remarkable. And so the thing that really sticks in my mind about that word is, being somebody that people want to remark about when you're not there. One example, I remember in South Africa, when you pull up for petrol, You don't get out your car. Someone comes in and magically fills it up for you. It's wonderful. The UK should go back there. I tell you. This one petrol attendant, he came over. He asked nicely, "What would you like? How would you like it? Would you like your windscreen washed?" He washed the windscreen perfectly, filled the car with fuel. He was just engaging, you know, and positive. And well, the very fact I'm talking to you and whoever's listening about him today makes him remarkable. There was just something that made him stand out from the crowd, you know. Maybe we'll do the purple cow talk tomorrow or sometime, because I think it would follow on nicely. And yeah, so for me, that word remarkable has really become actually a guiding principle. Am I being remarkable today? Someone worth remarking about in the positive sense.
Yeah. So the term remarkable, like you said, Dave, then is somebody who needs to remark about it, and people don't remark about the ordinary.
No.
They remark about extraordinary, or they remark about spectacular failure. But
yes.
but the moment it's ordinary, people sort of accept that, and why comment on it? So I just love it, you know, because when we ask the question, what would be a remarkable response here, you're not going to come up with one single right answer. You're going to come up with potentially a multitude of answers. And you therefore want to sit with the question and you want to wrestle it, because sometimes the first answer might not be the best answer. So if you're doing a presentation, what would be a remarkable response here? Well, let me bring along a cake. Yeah, that would be remarkable, but I'm sure somebody's done that before as well. And you just keep wrestling with it. And when you're lying down in bed, you might actually come up with, that would be remarkable. And what I love about remarkable is sometimes it could be something very, very small, but huge impact. So for example, remarkable is often remembering somebody's name whom the person doesn't expect you to remember it. Remarkable is a CEO who walks the floor and in crisis is actually finding time to still be a human. Remarkable sometimes is found in the word sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's, especially if the person believes that they've got the right to fight this, to justify it.
Remarkable in our response to people then, you know, and the way we respond is remarked upon. I agree. When I was in the ministry, I used to try and always think of ways I could illustrate the point, because I always believe a picture paints 1,000 words. And I even today, people who talk to me about those days remember certain sermons, and all of them had a remarkable illustration. I was trying to illustrate how the presence of God is always around us, and the only way I can illustrate it was I got a 40-gallon drum and I filled it up with water, and pulled a volunteer out of the congregation and literally dropped the volunteer into the 40-gallon drum of water. And firstly, no one ever thought I was actually going to put this person in the water, and no one could believe that we'd done it. And so it was remarked upon, and that illustration stuck in people's memories for years, you know. So that's being remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, I also want to share a story because it involves you, and I need to I'll share this quite quickly. I could spend 10 minutes sharing the story, but the tsunami in Japan, I'm trying to remember the year now, whether it was 2011 or 2013. I think it was 2011, but it happened on a Friday. And I can remember I was working with a company in Umhlanga Rocks in the boardroom, and everybody rushed over to the CNN to watch the news, because there was huge concern as to the tsunami and a nuclear reactor. I don't know if you can remember that, Dave.
Yeah, the Fukushima reactor.
Yeah, that's it. The next day, I happened to go to a bank. I can't remember exactly what the reason was, but I had to get to the front of the queue because there was something that needed to be sorted out. And when I got to the queue, you know, in those days, I'm so thankful for technology now because it takes away a lot of those queues. But I got there and it was a typical bank. There were many, many tellers, spaces, but there were only 2 tellers. And there was this long queue, and I can remember thinking, oh no, here's my Saturday morning, and I am in a bank queue. And I texted you, and the text went something like this: Can you believe it? This sucks. I'm in a bank queue on a Saturday morning. I'm going to be here for an hour. And the response I got back was, be remarkable.
Do something remarkable.
Now, if you think about it, what Dave's created for me is a problem. Is how does remarkable look in a bank queue on a Saturday morning? It's created the problem. And that's what be remarkable, or how can I be remarkable does. It creates a problem. So, you can come up with a couple of answers. Well, let me sing for everybody in the bank queue because probably they're feeling as upset as me. No, I'm not a singer. I'm not going to do that. Let me complain, but let me complain to the right person. So a complaint could be remarkable, but just do it in a remarkable way to the right person. What I decided to do was I had my phone with me, and so Dave's challenge to me caused me to write a message. And I thought, let me send it to a whole lot of people whom I haven't sent to for a long, long time, just connect with them. So I created a little message and it went something like this: how crazy is our world? Referencing back to yesterday's tsunami.
Yep.
Above all, we must be people of hope, faith. In other words, let's keep showing up strong. And I began to send it to people one after the other. And it's incredible when you connect with remarkable, time begins to go by now.
Yes. Yes.
You got a purpose.
Yes.
I get to the front about half an hour later, probably about 40, 50 people have got this message. I do the business. I walk out the bank. As I walk out the bank, I get a phone call from one of the people who I've just sent it to. And I pick up the phone and answer my friend, but my friend's not on the other side. His cousin is. And the cousin, immediately in her voice, I can hear there's a problem. She says, Mike. And she begins to share how my friend has been in a really, really bad accident. He's in ICU. But then she responds, she says, we've got his phone and we just got the message from you. And we want to thank you so much because it's given us so much hope in this dark moment.
I remember that. Wow. Because you just don't know. And I think, when we do step out of our comfort zones, when we do send that text message, when we do decide to be, I don't know, we seem to connect with some universal force somewhere, because that's happened so many times in my life. I've been in a queue and I've texted somebody and they've come back and said, I just needed to hear that in that moment, at that time, But you've got to put yourself out there, haven't you? You've got to be willing to break the norm, I love that.
Remarkable. Your words. It takes you out the norm. It takes you away from compliance, mediocrity, whatever your answer is. It takes you away from there. And when you put it out there, you don't know what will happen with it. When the CEO remembers the name, you don't know what will happen with that. That guy might stay with you forever.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like you said, you connect with something, Davey, and whether we call it the universe or God, we would probably use the word God, but we connect with something that's remarkable.
Yeah, I love that. So, I mean, even talking about it today, it's inspiring me, to be remarkable, to go that extra, one extra mile, to and to, I think, right back to our early conversation, to be remarkable in the fact that we're willing just to keep shipping stuff, put stuff out there, as well, and putting our ourselves on the line for that. So so maybe this tomorrow, there's a challenge for our listeners. Maybe tomorrow, let's be remarkable. Let's send some messages out. Let's be that different. It's amazing watching some of the Facebook Tubes videos about, there's a friend of mine who's a singer, jazz singer. There's a picture of her on the weekend. She set up her speaker in her garden and she's singing to her entire street. And the guys come out of their houses and they start dancing around the street. I just think, that takes courage, but it's remarkable. That street will never be the same again because of what she did, And I thought, I wish I had the courage,
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of COVID-19 is that there has been a lot of people stepping up in remarkable ways.
Yeah. There are probably hundreds of stories we could tell.
Yeah. And it's a question that we want to use, especially when you're feeling down. Like when we started talking before we even started recording this, David, you mentioned that you're feeling a bit grumpy today, like we all do. Yeah. and this is the question to one of the questions in the toolbox to apply. What's a remarkable response right now? Your answer could be go and sleep. If that's remarkable, go and sleep and wake up in a better mood. But remarkable. The movie Frozen, which I watched earlier on this year, they state the question slightly differently. It goes like this: the beautiful scene where the one little character says to the other character, "What's the next right thing to do?"
What is the next right thing to do? I like that. I like that. I never watched any Frozen. I don't know. Don't stone me, but I've never seen any of them. But I think I do know all the songs by now. Yeah, that's fantastic, Mike. Well, there's a challenge to be remarkable. I challenge you, Mike. Be remarkable. And tomorrow, I'm going to share the story of the purple cow, and we'll see how the purple cow takes the story of remarkability on another step. How's that?
Good one.
Have a good day.
We'll stay with a bit of a Seth Godin theme for a while.
We'll do a Seth Godin theme. Why not, indeed? He inspired us all. Chat to you soon. See you tomorrow, Mikey.
Great. Thanks, Ed. Cheers, Ed.
Bye.